Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Drive. We have this wonderful E63S AMG 4MATIC Plus, and it's not just a standard AMG, it's a Brabus. So let's look at it from the front. The E-Class has always been a very serious car for people that have businesses, that have no time to waste. And then sometimes along the way of Mercedes-Benz, of all the cars, AMG came into play and they wanted to make it faster. They want to raise the car that was supposedly being a car for business people. So what did they do? They took the E-Class, they put a V8 in it, they put a B-turbo in it and pushed it to 612 horsepower. And if that wasn't enough, what happened? There came Brabus and made it even more aggressive. What is Brabus all about? Well, Brabus is actually a company created by a guy that was called Mr. Bushman. And Mr. Bushman didn't like the way how his parents treated him because he was driving a 911 Turbo. And he parked it in front of their Mercedes shop. So his father told him, listen, you cannot park your Porsche 911 here. It's not a car that you should be driving. You're from a different class of people, basically. So he had to sell the car and take an S-Class in exchange. He drove the S-Class, but noticed he didn't like it because it was slow, it wasn't fast, it wasn't aggressive, and it didn't push his adrenaline levels. So what did he do? He started tuning it. And then people noticed it, asked him if he can tune the same car for him, for those people, and so came Brabus to life. BRA stands for Brackman and BUS stands for Bushman, which was the founder. So the three letters of the two names combined together give us the today known Brabus. So since the E63S is known basically everywhere in the world and we know a lot about the car, I want to talk about what Brabus has done to it. So first of all, we have to start at the front because this is very important to mention. They basically took everything that was chrome and made it carbon fiber. They took an already very classic but still aggressive looking car and made it even meaner. Look at that front splitter, look at that middle part here. This big B that stands for Brabus. Removed the Mercedes badge and put a Brabus badge on it. Just indicating to you that this is something that is for people that are even crazier than the AMG ones. The design on the side of the car hasn't changed a lot. So we have some carbon fiber parts like here in the front indicating the V8 B-turbo, those carbon fiber mirrors and the side skirts. And what do I love about AMG now in particular? Well, I love that they make this bonnet very nice. They have those kind of in a triangle form coming out power domes that you can follow from the front of the car, and the whole line goes to the back part of it. And I love it when a line starts somewhere, goes around the whole car, finishing in a luxurious move. We have a very nice combination of this dark Bordeauxish red with this black top and also sunglass roof. What has Brabus done to change the back of the car? Well, they used this lip here that looks very interesting and aggressive. It has some angles. It's even better. This diffuser has a Formula 1 styling in the middle of it and very deep cuts here that are supposed to give you better airflow. Then you have this big exhaust pipe that when I saw this as a child, I was freaking out because I knew those exhaust pipes are telling me exactly that we have a Brabus. What I love to talk about most on every car is the engine, and here something very special. It is called the M177 engine, which means those are two four-cylinder inline engine stuck into one at a 90-degree angle, and this gives us a V8 B-turbo engine producing 612 horsepower, 850 Newton meters of torque. What I loved about AMG is the philosophy of the handcrafted one man, one engine. So we have this little badge here that is telling us who made this wonderful engine, and it was Mrs. Jurica Mitic, actually. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mitic. Sounds great, drives well. So something I forgot to say, I love that thing, is the engineering masterpiece that is Mercedes, because you can actually see where the turbochargers are. They put them at the middle part of the engine. So you would assume that there is not enough cold air coming in and that it would overheat, but they water cooled it, so it doesn't matter. I love it. I love how compact this engine is. It's very, very interestingly made. So we're sitting inside of the E63S AMG, and this is like a cabinet for a president. We have leather parts everywhere. The dashboard is leather, the seats are leather, the door panels are leather, the steering wheel is leather, the top part is Alcantara, even the handrest here where you can pull is covered in leather. So very high quality, very nicely made, carbon fiber parts in the middle, IVC Schaffhausen clock, typical AMG, carbon fiber parts on the dashboard, aluminium shifting knobs, wonderful aluminium buttons everywhere, so they didn't waste any money on not going into the details. You have a Burmester sound system. It's just very luxurious and what I expect a Mercedes to be. That is what Mercedes was all about. It is making it luxury, and then came AMG, which was a second company, and make the car faster. But Mercedes needs to give me exactly what I have here. I want it to be luxurious, I want it to be new, and the cabinet is always something that is the most important task of Mercedes to do, because this is the character, the outward manifestation of what you are driving. And it's not just that you're driving this car, you are buying character with it. And that's what I like about AMG and about Mercedes especially. They never lose that focus on the interior, because that's what it's all about. A BMW is faster on track, and Audi might be more interesting for a slightly less, let's say, a different charisma of people, but an AMG is always very mighty and very wonderful for people who know style and who know the importance of their being. I hope you can understand that somehow. I try to portray the emotions to you. So what do we have else here? Well, they have those two screens in the middle. You can do whatever you want basically. You can change the climate settings, you can do whatever you want with those screens. I can even change the style of the tacho. Now it's at the sporty setting. I have those little touch screens right here. Now I can change it to classic settings, I can change it to progressive setting. It's just the new standard of cars. You can phone via the screen, you can look at your navigation, you can look how fast you're driving, all of that assistance systems, where your next service place is. So basically the whole thing. But what we need to focus on now is the middle part, the dashboard, because we want to talk about the settings you can use for driving. You can go to Sport, you can go to Sport Plus and Race. So what all of those do is, when you change from Comfort to Sport, you go into the suspension settings 1. So it makes it a little bit harder, but it takes on bumps a little bit better. Let's say that is something you could use at a mountain road, for example. Now you can go to Sport Plus. Here you are actually driving pretty fast. You want to drive competitive. You want to drive maybe on track also. But then you would have another one that is called Race. And here on Race mode, the car is in its most aggressive settings. So the throttle response is very aggressive. Everything is very aggressive. Shifting is fast. Sound is insane. And we have a 9-speed MCT speed shift transmission here. 9 speeds. So you have 9 gears to select from. The shifting has to be fast on that, trust me. 612 horsepower, 850 newton meters of torque out of a 4-liter. And the first thing that comes to my mind is how incredible, powerful this engine is. You have those type of engines. I have to overtake, sorry. I mean, you know this right there, what I mean. I have to go into sports mode, Sport Plus mode. No, I want to go into race mode. So you have this 5 driving modes: individual, comfort, sport, Sport Plus and race. So the suspension, the throttle, the shifting, everything is set to the absolute maximum. And we have a 9-gear MCT speed shift transmission, 9 gears. And now, just to give you a quick example how fast it shifts, listen to that. That was 5 gears right there. So I shifted 3 gears up. 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Wonderfully made. Feels very good. Feels a little bit rough on the upshifts, but we are in racing mode, so track mode. So I suppose that's how it should be. But now let's come to the part where nobody can argue about it, because you can argue that the Mercedes, an AMG, is not the fastest car. You can argue that around track it's gonna be beaten by an M5, maybe on a straight road because it's electronically limited. It's going to be beaten by an RS6. But what you cannot argue about is the engine, because AMG has always made the best engines for cars like this. So let's accelerate a little and show you what I mean. First gear, second gear. Look at that. I'm gonna step on the throttle now. Look at my body. For science purpose, I'm going to do that again. That was second gear. Look at it, first gear. But I have to shift, huh? Power. Those are 5,000 RPMs. And it's ridiculously fast. So I can understand that the owner of the car thought to himself, that's enough, because it's more than enough. It really is. It's an all-wheel driven car, sending 70% of the power to the back wheels, 30% to the front. But it's so much unbelievable, mighty power. It goes nicely around corners, let me say that. For 2 tons it has 1,955 kilograms. But I don't want to experience that too much. What I like about this car is the pure, badass acceleration. 4th gear. Every gear I'm in, as soon as I step on the throttle, I have this immediate power, this unbelievable, powerful engine, 850 Newton meters of torque. And that is what nobody can compare to Mercedes, or especially Benz engines. It's not comparable. This experience of sheer brute power, you don't have that anywhere else. It's only AMG capable of doing it that way. The car does a 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds, and it does a 0 to 200 in 11.4 seconds. Some guys have made it a little bit faster, but this one is original, so it should do 11.4 seconds, maybe 11.6. So one of those two, depending on weather conditions also. It is sadly one of the last engines they're ever going to give us to experience like this. The new models, the C63 is going to be a 4-cylinder hybrid. I'm sure it's going to have plenty of power, but there is something just so charming about an AMG V8. Brabus is a little bit different. They don't have every screw very tight in their brain. So what they do is they take this unbelievably powerful engine and made 850, 900 horsepower out of it. Imagine. But I'm telling you, those 612 horsepower, every gear, just pure badass. It is like unyielding rage that really cannot wait to be portrayed to the outside world. It's like it's angry. It is just so powerful, so massive, and so qualitative, because an AMG engine is not going to break. especially not a V8. It's unbreakable. And that's what I mean. This handcrafted design, one man or one girl, one engine principle. So much flair, so much beautiful thoughts behind it. And especially we car guys or people that really love cars say heart to the engine. And it is a mighty piece, a really mighty piece. And from the outside, you wouldn't say it so. You would, okay, well, we're driving the Brabus edition, but on the standard E63, you would say, well, it's a quite nice looking car. It looks very classy in this red Bordeauxish color. You wouldn't think of it being this fast, but as soon as you step on the throttle, in every gear, every single gear. So I think you got the message. You can buy this car at remuauto for 89,000 right now. It's in very good condition. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube especially, and please leave a like, leave a message if you want us to do something new. If you have some suggestions, leave a message. You can private message me also. I try to reply to everyone writing me directly. I really do. And hopefully we can see each other at some car meetings, and next time you tune in, hopefully it's going to be a great car again. So, but we just drive great cars on the channel, okay? So I'm very thankful to each of one of you for following, for liking the videos, for giving me I'm very inspired by you people. I wanted to finish the video, but I need to say this. I'm very inspired by you people because you give me so much energy, so much motivation by watching my videos, by looking at the content and liking it, and the users go up, the followers go up. It's a wonderful experience, and I'm very thankful for it. And see you on the next one. Bye. Well, I give you a little bit of something. Just a 1-2 gear shift, you know.